Rolex China Sea Race is Asia's premier blue water classic, a biennial test of stamina and seamanship across one of the busiest oceans in the world.
It's a point-to-point race across the ocean, not a coastal race, so it is a classic in that regard.
The race starts in high-rise Hong Kong's Victoria Harbour and ends in sultry Subic Bay in the Philippines.
It's a challenging course, which is why we have representatives from 8 countries here. We're always very excited to host this event. It's great for us and it's great for Hong Kong.
Mild one year, malevolent the next, and with a variety of possible course conditions, the event can be many races in one. And the 2018 edition proves no exception. For sailors, Subic Bay marks the journey's end. For entrepreneurs, Hong Kong represents a new beginning.
People come to Hong Kong and the first thing they notice is the energy. People really have a sense that things need to be done now. There's no time to wait in this city. It's not a leisurely place. This is not work-life balance. Hong Kong is all about work hard and play harder. I'm not surprised there are Hong Kong entrepreneurs and business people in the Rolex China Sea Race, because this town, it's all about taking risks. You know, people know what they're doing. They also have intuition. They can sense which way the wind is blowing, and when they know they're ready to take a risk and ready to reap the reward, they can go for it. And that's what Hong Kong's all about.
And no race entrant has gone for it quite like department store owner Carl Kwok, the only sailor to have won both line honours and the overall title twice. A man to react quickly on a boat or in the boardroom.
Hong Kong is next to London and New York when it comes to speed of business decisions. The Hong Kong people are very resilient. They're practical. And we're still a mercantile class, and I'm the 3rd generation working in the department store. It is business as usual, but we have to move faster.
Australian Yacht Alive is the only entry to move faster than Kwok's in recent years, breaking his 16-year course record by just 12 minutes in 2016. 2 years on, Kwok returns in a 70-foot multi-hull mod Beau Geste, the former Fado, along with a senior management team of Gavin Brady and Matt Humphreys, and a determination to wrest the record back.
Running a real business is more difficult. It is subject to a lot of corporate governance. In the sailing program, I'm the ultimate, so I can be dictatorial. But I do trust my after-guards. I probably know the game better than a lot of people, but still, you know, there are lots to learn.
Tackling his first offshore race on Lighthorse Alpha Plus, a Curve 46 less than a year old, is Sean Kang, a Hong Kong hedge fund manager prepared to forfeit short-term profits for a steady long-term gain on the water and off.
Investment and the racing, they have similar strategies. The first thing is you have to choose the course. That's your strategy. Which side is better, you know, the wind, which side maybe it's not. And then you should keep your boat safe. The market is to say, you cannot win with big mistakes.
For Peter Kramers, owner of racer cruiser Chatouche, plotting the best course comes with the territory. As CEO of a large fleet management company, he too runs a tight ship, responding as or before conditions change.
We're still a very small team of only 3-4 people. We have 600 ships all over the place, everywhere. So there's never a dull moment in the office.
You see the big trades from Brazil all the way to China. This is the iron ore route. South China Sea for us is a busy place. The traffic density is for us the major issue. I have personally seen, from a big ship perspective, collisions or near-miss situations. So I probably on my boat am a little bit more careful than most of my competitors, because I know how difficult it is for a big ship to do anything. The Rolex China Sea Race is a very challenging race. You continue or you come back. It's a mix of various weather patterns, so you need a lot of skills. Plus, ship's traffic. It's not a simple, easy ride.
Over 560 nautical miles long, the course tests crews from the beginning. Exiting Hong Kong is never easy, and once clear of the barges and bottlenecks, there are still fishing boats and shipping lanes to negotiate before reaching the typhoon-prone waters of the South China Sea. Cross that, and one final wearying obstacle blocks the approach to Subic Bay, the Luzon Hole.
Technically speaking, you'd call it a lee trough. It's an area of low pressure that's created in the lee of landmass, and this year it looks to be particularly dominant.
I guess ultimately in layman's terms it means that there's a lot less wind on that west side of the Luzon Peninsula.
Day and a half time we were about to arrive in that area, and we have to decide which route to take, and very likely that will be a determined factor of the race winner or not.
The finish is where it is, so it's going to be a pretty light, painful finish, I think, for everyone.
Conditions may be unpredictable at the Philippines end, but in Victoria Harbour, there's a building 12-knot breeze, and the 2018 Rolex China Sea Race fleet is ready to go.
30%!
29 yachts from 8 nations, competing in 6 categories. One coveted overall title at stake.
Max pace, guys, max pace.
The fleet converges on the start line off the Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club at Kellet Island. Anticipation and adventure in the air. The challenges ahead are formidable, but nothing slows the scramble for space at the line. Carl Kwok's Mod 70 Beaugest and Philip Turner's Alive take off at the pin to ignite their dispute over the course record. While things are even tighter at the other end of the line, where Jeff Hill's crew narrowly avoids disaster on Antipodes. Among the fancied boats, the Kerr 42 Seawolf, which, as Black Baza, won the overall title in 2016. Also expected to make an impact, Ernesto Achauz's Philippine crew on Standard Insurance Centennial, one of the fleet's 2 TP52s. But with the shadow of Luzon looming large over the final miles of the course, contenders can be found throughout the fleet. Tactical decisions and timing key to overall success. It's Alive that leads the fleet on approach to Waglan Island, the last of the landmarks before heading out into the busy seaways and shipping lanes of the South China Sea. Over 560 nautical miles of ocean racing ahead of them. Among the spectators watching the boats leave is 17-year-old Mia Tang, the kind of local sailor who, with the help of a recently launched initiative, may one day be leaving with them. Now training with the Hong Kong squad in a 420, Mia might never have got afloat had it not been for a local school teacher and sailing coach who encouraged her to see for herself the opportunities for fun and personal development the sport can offer.
學咗呢個 sailing 之後，我覺得我個膽係大咗嘅，即係以前可能好細膽啦，但係因為 sailing 係需要膽量先至會成功咁樣嘅運動啦，所以就覺得係有改變嘅。
Now, a match funding initiative called the Sun Hung Kai Scallywag Development Program will help to widen access to sailing for all young people in Hong Kong and ensure that talents like Mia's do not go to waste.
I think sailing is probably not really known in the culture of the people of Hong Kong, despite the fact that we're surrounded by water. I think it's thought of as a difficult sport to take up, and maybe even an expensive sport to take up. The aim of the Sun Hung Kai development program is to provide 9,000 days of activity, learning to swim, learning to sail, keeping people in the sport. What this will focus on is actually reaching out into the community, providing the opportunity for people who would never have considered it to actually try sailing.
reveling in the reaching conditions towards the end of day one, Mod 70 Beau Geste is tearing up the racetrack and, in all likelihood, the course record books.
Well, we're eating up the miles. 100 earlier, so we are still catching up.
Already over 50 miles astern, Alive leads the charge of the monohulls, so far unimpeded by the fishing vessels that almost net her nearest rival.
As you see, we just went past a fishing boat and it sort of turned towards us. We went across its bow and it seemed to turn the wrong way. As we know, the Volvo Ocean Race had a collision with one only a month or so ago in the same sort of area. These boats, I don't think they're very used to having yachts sailing around and don't understand our abilities to where we can go and where we can't go.
Making steady progress near the back of the fleet is TBS Aya, only the event's second ever double-handed entry. Cosmas and Philippe Grelon are from France, the home of short-handed sailing, and enter the event undaunted by the test of their resourcefulness or their father-son relationship.
For us, it's easier because we sail a lot together, so we know each other. We don't need to talk. We know each other exactly what the other one has to do. It's all clear from day one. You know?
A sailing instructor in Shenzhen, Cosmas met up with his father to prepare for the race in Casablanca, the much-loved family houseboat in Hong Kong's Aberdeen Harbour.
For myself, I think I'm mostly on the boat speed, making sure the boat's going at 100% all the time. For my father, I think he's more on preparation.
Preserving the boat to be sure we will arrive first. That's important, and arrive as fast as we can, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I'm pushing the boat and he's holding me back a little bit.
Team Grelon will be sailing a borrowed boat, and parts or provisions, nothing is being left to chance.
I still have a few spare parts to buy for the engine. And Cosmas has to do all the food market. I'm not in charge of the food, so, you know, I'm trusting the son.
I think you could not be more complementary from one another. Cosmas! And they have this good boat lent by a friend, so two excellent sailors, one very good boat, why not win?
Light fading on day one, skipper Jeff Hill surveys the potential hazards for his crew on Antipodes, which, as a line honours winner on Genuine Risk in 2012 and an 8-time race entrant, he knows better than most.
Logs, buoys, debris, oil rigs, unlit fishing boats. As we get down towards the Philippines, however, they have these big log fish traps, which are not lit. They're basically using telegraph poles. So if you collect one of them, you know, you'll sink the boat. That's a feature of the South China Sea.
It's been a memorable night for Carl Kwok's crew on Mod 70 Beau Geste, exceeding speeds of 35 knots and often their own expectations.
We're almost down to 100 miles to go. That's not bad given that only done 20 hours so far as racing. Hopefully this breeze will stay in and we'll be able to wiggle our way through.
Over 250 miles behind, but also enjoying a beautiful morning in the South China Sea, are the Philippine crew on Standard Insurance Centennial and Peter Kramer's men on racer cruiser Chatouche, well pleased to be in touch with the faster boats.
We've done more than 200 miles since we left Hong Kong. A bit surprised, we are just next to a TP52 Centennial, but so we've been sailing very well.
In northeasterly breeze that later builds to 20 knots, Philip Turner and Duncan Hines' crew on Alive, the leading monohull, are going like a train. But way down the track, there's been a derailment as the Luzon hull claims its first victim. After their remarkable progress overnight, Mod 70 Beau Geste has hit the buffers and is only now back in breeze after a lengthy delay.
6 hours in a hole, floating around.
taking our medicine.
Deprived of breeze elsewhere en route to Subic Bay, it's not until the small hours that they finally arrive in a time of 1 day, 14 hours and 30 minutes. It's slower than hoped, but still establishes a new course record and smashes the old multi-hull mark by more than 9 hours.
It was a big low after we gained everything overnight.
Yay, cheers!
At the end of the day, we came and did what we wanted to do, have a new record. So we had a new record.
Staying further west, avoiding some of the problems that befall Beau Geste, Alive is bearing down on the finish line in Subic Bay by mid-afternoon, well outside their 2016 time, but with kite up and spirits high. As the first of the fleet arrives in Philippine waters at the end of the Rolex China Sea adventure, another is about to start, but in vessels of a different order. Balangays are traditional Philippine wooden boats. And as soon as a suitably benign spell of weather can be identified, 3 of them will set sail from Manila to Quanzhou in China to commemorate the voyage of the Sultan of Sulu to the Ming Emperor 600 years ago.
I think Filipinos have lost and had been detached from their maritime roots. But colonialism had taken it away from us. They made us think as land-based people. So by having this colorful sail regularly be seen by our people here in Manila Bay, it will remind them of that great maritime heritage.
Built using traditional methods, the balangays are held together by wooden dowels. And although one of them will be equipped with modern navigational aids, without them, they're near invisible to radar.
My greatest fear is to be run over by tankers and all of that. And I think the stretch from Hong Kong to Shanghai is one of the busiest in the world. So that's the kind of challenge that we have to face.
The trip from Manila to the southern coast of China is about 1,000 kilometers. It will probably take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to cross over. It hasn't been done for hundreds of years, so we really don't know what's in store. Some people see the waters as a divider, but we see it as a unifying factor. Regarding the Rolex China Sea Race, here we are, we have 3 olden boats going on the other direction. We're all sailors. We all share the oceans together. And that's actually the message we want to convey to everyone.
It's not been an easy race for the quicker boats. While the breeze returns for those further back, the likes of Antipodes are made to work for every knot of boat speed until they can find pressure of their own in what proves a tiring end to the race. By the conclusion of the 3rd day, Hill's crew and their rivals in the IRC 0 category are still picking their way through the wind shifts en route for the lights of Subic Bay, enthralled to the vagaries and vicissitudes of the Luzon Gap.
Well, the approaches to Subic Bay are surrounded by quite tall mountains, and they produce significant wind shadows, and getting through these wind shadows is always a challenge. Well, just now we're rolling along very nicely with a spinnaker and just hit the wall between the breeze off of the sea and the breeze off of the land. A significant smell to the land breeze. Now we're working our way in.
When the breeze picks up, Standard Insurance Centennial are the next to arrive, 4th boat across the line. Then it's Jeff Hill's relief men on Antipodes, followed by Sam Chan's Free Fire, the 2nd of the TP-52s. Behind them, completing their first Rolex China Sea Race, are Sean Kang's crew on Light Horse Alpha Plus. It's also been an excellent race for Peter Kramer's Chatouche, which caught up with the racing boats and held on to them till the end. But it's the boats in IRC1 arriving a few hours later that get the best ride to edge out their faster rivals in the race for the overall prize. Seawolf and Ambush look to be in a strong position. But it's Fred Kinmonth and Nick Byrne's crew on Mandrake III, stealing home in the early light of day 4, who top the provisional leaderboard. Among the boats still racing are Team Grelon on TBS Aya. Desperately tired, but their goal now tantalizingly close after a trying race.
So we're on our last leg towards the finish after quite what has been an emotional past 24 or 48 hours. We had a series of unfortunate events with the mast almost coming down. Then we had lots of problems with our Code Zero, which is now flying beautifully. And after that we had 30 knots sending us downwind, reaching peaks of almost 18 knots. This is why we do this race.
This morning early it was very quiet, so we thought that we would never finish that race. The wind has finally come.
And now here we are, hopefully either first or second, leading into Subic Bay.
Despite their efforts, the Grelons end up taking second in the IRC2 category, losing out by just 26 minutes to Glenn Smith's Blackjack, but still achieving their primary objective.
We wanted to have fun, that's for sure, and to arrive at the end of the race. Very happy.
With all the fleet home and the smaller boats, among them Anthony Day's Explorer, finally ruled out of contention, Mandrake III, a frequent and familiar entry, is confirmed as winner of the overall prize.
I can't believe it, quite frankly. I'm sitting here gobsmacked. We've been doing this for years and years, and we've come very close. We missed it by 15 minutes about 6 years ago. We've got a boat which is not a particularly high-performance boat, so being close on the wind suited us. This race is the one that, from a traditional point of view, everybody wants to win.
The Filipino crew on Standard Insurance Centennial take third place overall. The runners-up are Seawolf, another strong showing for the former Black Baza.
The Rolex China Sea Race 2018 overall winner, Mandrake III.
But to the winner, the spoils. Next time on the Spirit of Yachting, we head to the Mediterranean for the offshore sprint that is the Duralia Rolex Cup.